Hold on, let me respond to this real fast. Right. Most of you probably didn't even think twice of what I just did. Phones have become a part of our culture and society, and it is natural for us to pick it up to check a text, a notification, or our social media feeds. In fact, according to Malcolm Gladwell, the writer of the book Irresistible in 2018, the average person spends 3 hours a day on their phone. This is part of what is known as smartphone addiction. This is caused by social needs and business tactics and can be further combated by knowing your triggers, creating a limitation plan, and identifying different hobbies to fill your time. I've spent time researching this topic and looking at both journal articles and books to help cater it to you and help you develop a plan. This is significant because it is important that in our modern age, we control the technology and not the other way around. First, I will identify the need. Second, I will prove its satisfaction with a 3-step plan. Third, I'll prove the reliability by creating a visualization. And last, I will propel you into action. First, for identifying the need, I will show that this is not just a behavioral habit, but actually an addiction. Part of any addiction is there is a reward aspect. When gambling, this might be winning a certain bet, or for a drug, it might be the feeling that you get from it. For smartphones, it is a sense of social approval. You might be able to relate to this as you go on your phone to connect with friends or family. According to the journal Computers and Human Behavior, there was an article by the University of Twente in the Netherlands, 2014, that interviewed 386 people and found a positive correlation between social use and addictive behavior. This shows that addictive behavior is taking control of our lives in the social aspect, which is the intended reward. Businesses are taking control of this and using it to their advantage. According to Gladwell from the book stated earlier, he interviewed someone from Instagram who said he knew the smartphone was going to be addictive with the constant clickbait and hashtags and likes and things that give us satisfaction. Wilson and others in a Harvard review of 2011 interviewed 1,000 companies that said they saw sales increase with social media platforms. This proves that businesses are using our addiction and that phones have more control over us than we do of them. In order to combat this, I will provide a 3-step plan outlined by Kevin Roose in the New York Times article, How I Ditched My Phone and Unbroke My Brain. He started first by identifying his triggers. He put a rubber band around his phone and had a screensaver to remind him when he was picking up his phone. He found he had certain habits, such as always looking at it before he went to bed and checking his phone when the ATM was processing his credit card. The second part was he learned he needed to cut back based on these identified triggers. For him, this was charging his phone in another room at night. But there are other ways too. Maybe you always check it before you start a homework assignment, or you're looking at it constantly during lecture. These are certain triggers that you can identify and cut back. Lastly, he found alternative activities to fill his time. For him, this was pottery. Personally, I like to run. This helps me detach from my phone and gives me something else to do that's positive and has not negative consequences. Third, I will give you some visualization by showing how this has been successful for people. Since I talked about Roose's plan, he saw an impact on the people around him. His wife noticed that he was more happy and present in the family. This has to do with happiness and self-satisfaction. In fact, according to Nazir and Salmon of 2016, the Social Science Computer Review article, The Relations Among Social Media Addiction, Self-Esteem, and Life Satisfaction of University Students in Lebanon, 2016, there was a positive correlation between addiction and loss of self-esteem. This means the very reward that you're going for in using your phone to have more social interaction is actually hurting yourself socially and internally in your self-esteem. This can be combated by identifying your triggers and cutting back. In Computers and Human Behavior article, Sleeping with the Frenemy, Now Restricting Bedroom Use of Smartphones Impacts Happiness and Well-Being by Hughes and Brooke of 2018, it was found that those who kept their phone away before they went to sleep had better relationships, better sleep, and an increase of happiness. Now, in conclusion, In the modern world, we are seeing smartphones used more and more because it has become not only a behavioral aspect, but also an addiction. This is due to our social need and businesses being able to take advantage of this. You can combat this with 3 distinctive steps: identifying your triggers, creating a limitation plan, and finding different hobbies. I now am going to call you to action. I'm not saying to completely set down your phone for days and not even look at it. This isn't practical. It's part of our modern life and means of communication. But try to find little ways you can cut back. Maybe this is not looking at your phone before you go to bed, or finding different hobbies to fill your time when you don't have anything to do. Or maybe it's not multitasking and watching TV and being on your phone at the same time. Heck, maybe it's even reading a book. Whatever you do, I hope that, and I know that this will increase your happiness and overall satisfaction with life.